Calaroga Shark Media.
Fun one today. Hey there, I'm Johnny Mack with your daily comedy news. Shane Gillis gave us some more insight about his discourse with Nick Saban. You may recall that ahead of Notre Dame's first-round college football playoff game, Shane made some jokes about Alabama. Nick Saban didn't appreciate it, so it seems. Let's listen to the original clip.
You called him a cheater earlier.
I was just joking around. I don't think the SEC paid players ever.
Period.
I'm joking. Is this not a fun show?
No.
Serious show?
Serious football.
Like Alabama Jones is very serious.
No, I'm not serious.
Get the whip, Indy.
I do believe in integrity. I always tried to run the program that way so players had a better chance to be successful in life.
I agree.
We make more money in the NFL than any other school, 61 players in the league. That was how we cheated. We developed players. We recruited.
I'm so sorry.
Shane was wondering if Saban was actually mad. He spoke about it here. You're going to hear some dropouts in the audio. That's where the F-bombs were.
He was like, what do you think about the game? And I was like, I don't know. Nick Saban cheated. It was just a full spaz.
It was so good, though.
I mean, I'd like to explain that because that was so. After I said that, we had to go into the stadium to sit at the desk. Then I got in there, and right before we go on, he looks at me and he's like, I heard what you said. And I was like, holy shit. And then Herb Street and McAfee were like, he's just breaking your balls, dude. He loves messing with guys. Like, he's literally just. And I was like, oh, all right. I'll with him back. I would have never done that if I thought he was serious.
Yeah.
But they told me he was around, so I started with him. And then as soon as we get done, I tell Herb Street and McAfee, I'm like, bro, he was definitely serious. And they were like, no way he was serious. Go talk to him. So I went up to him after news, like, you think the SEC dominated because we cheated? That's bullshit. And he spazzed on me.
Were you helping him
But then, so he was still on the stage and I was on the field. So after he yelled at me, I had to help him down. And he looked around to see if anybody else could help him, but I had to help him down.
Congratulations to Nate Bargatze. A gym will be named after him. The Donaldson Christian Academy Gymnasium will be named in honor of Nate on January 17th. Nate annually hosts a fundraiser golf tournament for the school. Nate and his wife recently made a donation of $1.15 million towards the DCA to go towards construction of an athletics indoor practice facility. Nice job all around. Newsday caught up with Dave Attell, turning 60. Dave says, I'm surprised I made it. I never thought it was going to happen in terms of comedy. I'm the oldest guy in the room now. When I started out, there was always some old grizzled comic in the corner, and now that's me. It's great to be able to see if I can still follow the new comics. I'm kind of like the old buffalo and the wolves are circling. This is what I do, and I'll keep doing it for as long as I can. Dave addressed the good buzz on his 2024 special Hot Cross Buns. I had that way up my list, and Attell said, it kind of blew me away when it hit like that. I guess it's kind of fun to watch someone who's melting down and angry. Unless you're in the subway, then it's scary. Newsday, that's a Long Island newspaper, talked to Attell about what it was like when he lived there. I used to live there too, and I agree with what he says here. Attell said, I grew up on Long Island when you could get from the Lincoln Tunnel to Roosevelt Field in under 3 hours. That should be about a 25-minute drive, maybe 30 minutes. But yeah, it's not that anymore. Attell says, now that Newsday asked Attell about being revered by so many fellow comedians, Dave says, I don't know what to say because I'm one of them and we're all in it together. I think a lot of them like to watch me on stage because I'm pretty self-destructive. I'll tell a joke that works, then tweak it and twist it until it fails. And then I get angry with myself and go off on tangents. I guess it's fun to see the ramblings of a madman. Mass Live caught up with Kathy Griffin, who said, I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records. I've done more TV streaming comedy specials than any comedian, male or female, living or dead, and don't talk to me about the boys. Now, I think the transcription went sideways here because it says, here, I'll read the 2 sentences, but then I'll tell you about the spelling. It says, I love Dave Chappelle, but he doesn't come close. Matt Rice is the hot thing now. But I write my own stuff. But Chappelle doesn't have the E at the end, so that makes me think she actually said Matt Rife and not Matt Rice. Anyway, spelling aside, her comment on Matt Rife, he's the hot thing now, but I write my own stuff. Is she implying that Matt does not write his own stuff? Kathy says, these other comics have 3-4 openers, but not me. Do other comedians have 3-4 openers? I've seen some pretty big headliners. Usually 1 opener, sometimes 2. Who's touring with 4 openers? Kathy says, you better be on time for this show because I go right on at 8 o'clock. I do 2 full hours. In fact, I do 2 hours when I'm a good girl and I do 2 hours and 15 minutes when I'm a bad girl. Mass Live was curious. What happens during those 15 minutes? Kathy, if the audience is extra good, I make them pay. I make them pay the price by doing those few more minutes, but I love it. It's the only thing that gets me through. Even though all those years I was blacklisted, I was still writing stuff and planning stuff. I pitched every game show you can think of, every talk show you can think of, every sitcom you can think of, every reality show. Nobody bit, not one single soul in 7 years. Thank God for real live people that buy tickets with real live money, because now they're all eating crap. And they're like, oh, Kathy Griffin just played 50 cities. I have no love for my own industry, but I have nothing but love for the actual audience. The New York Times reviewed Leanne Morgan's recent book, What in the World? A Southern Woman's Guide to Laughing at Life's Unexpected Curveballs and Beautiful Blessings. And they write, you may have questions. For example, is this one of those top-tier comic memoirs like those from Tina Fey, Trevor Noah, and Steve Martin? The answer, no, but it's got a frazzled charm and it works. Is it as funny as Morgan's stand-up? Not quite. The hard thing about trying to be funny on the page as opposed to in front of an audience is that you lose your delivery. Morgan's sweet-toned Southern accent has bestowed on her a world-class delivery system. Gabe Iglesias talked to the Hollywood Reporter and said, nowadays people can take anything you say wrong. That's the time we're living in. He used to worry about it. I was always looking on my phone, reading messages, but the more I continue to do this, the more I realize that as long as you do what you said you were going to do, your fan base is going to be there. The people who disagree are the ones on the outside making all that noise. I can't worry about people who are not even fans, who don't understand what I do and how I do it. Because people will watch a clip online, all of a sudden they have an opinion, they don't realize that this person's been doing this for almost 30 years, and maybe there's a reason why they've been around so long. I've lost a lot of time worrying, and nothing that I ever worried about happened. The Hollywood Reporter asked Gabe if he tweaks the material for where he's playing in the country, and he says, I'm always listening to see how things go over, but I don't change something. For example, he has a bit about guns. I don't try to make it so California's cool with it. I try to push this idea of, look, you might not agree with it, but let me tell you why I did it. I'm not just going to throw that out there. I'm letting you know that I started off the same way as you, and this is what happened to me that led me to go another way. Again, reacting to situations. So even if people disagree with certain ideas, you can't disagree with the person being affected by what's happening around them that led them to that. I don't think I'm losing anybody from that. When I say I'm a registered gun owner, I've had people in the crowd boo, too. All I ask is you listen to my story, and if you still feel like booing me after I tell you my story, I welcome it. But to boo me without hearing the full thing makes you look like the bad person, so at least give me the opportunity to share with you why I'm this way. And then people are like, all right, and at the end of it, I've yet to get another boo. The 35-seat theater Public Displays of Altadena, known as PDA, was in the path of the Eaton wildfire and was burned down. Some have called it the unofficial home of LA's clown scene. Located in a strip mall alongside a liquor store and a pizza shop, the micro theater opened in 2022 after a crowdfunding campaign. Maria Bamford recorded her 2023 special local act there. The owners are trying to figure out what happens next. Right now, they're canceling things, trying to refund people. They've launched a crowdfunding campaign that's already raised over $15,000. They're trying to find a new venue. A post on the GoFundMe page says, with your generosity and time, we pledge to rebuild PDA and come back stronger, more resilient, and ready to serve our community once again. While I was on the trip to Antarctica, Just for Laughs Vancouver announced a pretty cool lineup. I'm psyched to see that the reconstituted Just for Laughs is continuing with all the old programming. This is fantastic. JFL Vancouver, February 13th through the 23rd. Pretty snazzy lineup here, including Jerry Seinfeld, Kamal Nanjiani, Tim Dillon, Margaret Cho, Roy Wood Jr., Pete Holmes, Maz Jobrani. I mean, this is great. Ashley Gavin, Brian Simpson, Sam J., Irene Tu, Ivan Decker, Jay Jordan, and a whole bunch of others. 70-plus shows. Fantastic. Just for Laughs Vancouver, February 13th through the 23rd. If you are a long-time listener, you may remember this story. The Supreme Court of Canada has rejected a request to hear an appeal by Sylvie Gabriel. Gabriel had been seeking to reverse a lower court decision that dismissed her lawsuit seeking compensation from comedian Mike Ward. Jeremy Gabriel had become a celebrity in Quebec as a teenager after he appeared alongside Celine Dion and the Pope. Ward had mocked Gabriel in his act between 2010 and 2013, joking at one point that he thought the boy's illness was terminal, and people were only nice to him because they thought the boy would soon die. Canadian Supreme Court found in 2021 that Ward's comments did not amount to discrimination under Quebec's rights charter. From Chortle, the Next Big Thing Award has listed 10 comedians who could be the next big thing. The British Comedy Guide has picked Celia A.B., Dan Tiernan, Josh Pugh, Katie Norris, Michael Adewale, Olga Koch, Patty Young, Rachel Fairburn, Rob Copeland, and Tarot. Or is it Tarot? T-A-R-O-T. The website had asked 100 professionals for the acts they believed most represented the future of comedy. They got a long list. They've now cut it down to 10. That panel will now choose a winner to be announced. on an unspecified date. Some mystery. And that is your comedy news for today. If you enjoy the program, join us in the Facebook group. It's Daily Comedy News Podcast Group. We can talk about stuff. I'll see you tomorrow.